We're going to be discussing the masterpiece, which is by Jose Emanuel Castro. He is the one who was the author of this poem or spoken word piece. Yeah. And I want to get right into something that stood out to me, your lyrics in this poem.
Yeah, let's do it.
You said, what is the definition of a father? Some of us don't know because we seen a silhouette from father. These are some hard lyrics that a lot of people can relate to. So the first thing I want to ask was, how was your relationship with your father?
Non-existent. So my parents, they had me when they were 17, very young. And my real dad, I don't think he had I'm not even going to say the maturity, but the just capability of being in my life and taking care of me. So I can count with one hand the times that, he took me on a father-son date. He gave me a couple of gifts here and there. And, one was a skateboard, some shoes. And even though he wasn't there, I idolized him. But it was a broken, non-existent relationship that just created a void in my heart.
And that's exactly what I want to talk about. Yeah. So how did that affect you as you got older? And to this day, it may actually sometimes leave an imprint on grown men that they're not aware of. So can you tell us a little bit about how your father not being in your life impacted it?
Well, I realize now, because I'm able to look back and see at my behavior, it made me a very emotional man with no control of my emotions. And for some reason, within the Latino culture, when you are kind of erratic, when you are angry, some people might see it as if you have a strong character, which is completely the opposite of that.
So crazy is praised.
Yeah. So, me being crazy as a young man was praised by other young men, and I thought that it was okay. But not having a father made me very emotional. It created just a deep void in my heart. It made me lawless, because not having the discipline of a man, it just created that in me. It planted a lot of seeds of lawlessness, even though my mom was very disciplinarian with me, and I had discipline for my grandma, but it's just different coming from women. When a man tells you, hey, stop, it's kind of like, oh.
How do you think the discipline of a father affects the emotional state of a man?
The best word that I can think of right now is calibration. It calibrates you, because as a young man, you have so much energy. You want to conquer the world. You want to do so many things because of especially when you go into your teenage years, that you're developing your testosterone and all that. It is just rampant. You need that calibration, because if not, you're kind of like a runaway train. But having a father is you have those stops of like, hey, take it easy, man. Yeah.
No matter how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what made you decide to put your pain in this poem?
Well, I am an artist, even though I have not been practicing poetry or writing for a long time. But I just think that that's the best way at that time, that was the best way to express the pain that I was feeling inside. But also, I wanted to give that message to people. I've always been inclined to wanting to help other young men avoid a little bit of pain, or as much pain as possible that I went through. And so I saw that as a tool of just writing it and putting it out there, and so that other men could be blessed.
Do you think it did therapy for you to deal with that pain in some type of way?
I think so, but to be honest with you, I'm gonna say I don't know.
Okay.
Because I never really saw it as therapy. I saw it more of, I need to write this so that I can give it to somebody else.
masterpiece.
Yes.
Why title it that?
Well, if you read Ephesians 2:10, it says that we are God's workmanship, which in other translation it says we are God's masterpiece, that we have been made new in Christ, designed for the works that He has for us, that He has prepared for us.
Got it.
The interesting thing about the particular word in Hebrew of masterpiece, workmanship, it's poema, and that's where poetry comes from. That's a fun fact.
Yeah, it is.
And so that was the reasoning behind it, and the message that I wanted to convey is that we are God's masterpiece. We are His art. And when you think of art is beautiful. Art is expensive. It's unique.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people, whether they're Christians or not, they're not able to see themselves as beautiful or expensive or unique. And then they settle for what the world offers us.
Yeah.
Just quick gratification that destroy us. And also we allow the enemy to rob us. Yeah. So I just wanted to tell people, like, you are beautiful.
Yeah.
You are valuable.
Yeah.
And that's where the masterpiece concept came from.
It's funny you said that. It made me think about sometimes some of the most expensive pieces to us look like garbage. It just looked like somebody was just playing with colors like a 2-year-old or something, and it's the most valuable. And I love the way you put that, because sometimes our life can take some left turns, and it's not necessarily everything we wanted, but God can still use it to display His beauty. So what caused you to change those destructive behaviors and change and become the man you are? What was it? If it wasn't your father, what was it?
So God became my father. And it's just His love, His faithfulness. And I don't want to take too much credit. Of course, I have played a part because I have believed. I think that's the only thing that I've done, believed. I have faith. But other than that, He has seen my faith and has given me so much love, correction, faithfulness, even when I have been unfaithful. And some of the responses that He has given me in my life when I have sinned have filled my heart with questions, good questions, but with also a change of heart. Like, for example, when I have sinned, it seemed that He rewarded me for my sin. And to give you an example, let's just say, that a kid does something wrong, and instead, his father says, "Hey, I'm going to take you for an ice cream." And I have taken advantage of that. But at the same time, I think that He was just trying to get to see myself outside of my performance.
So it won't be performance based. That I love you outside of what you're doing.
Correct. I love you outside of what you do. I love you outside of the things that you think you're doing for me. And so that has been that was what transformed me.
That's what fathers do. They love despite what their child is doing in that season, which is going to lead me to my next question is, what characteristics about your Heavenly Father motivated this change?
Just His faithfulness, His love, His correction, His, those three things. I mean, like I said, He's just been ever present since the day that I acknowledged Him in my life, since the day He saved my life. He's just been there at every step.
Present.
Yeah. His presence.
Yeah. It's funny, man. I think sometimes we as people forget the power of just being present.
That's great.
I was just there. I haven't had the greatest motivational speech, but I was present. And sometimes that says more than words. last words of this piece was his ink is the will. No, I'm sorry, his will is the ink in my pen.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
So actually, that came to me in a dream. I had a just weird dream that I was in a bus and I was writing, and those words just stood out. So I woke up and I just started saying that. But on my way here, I was reflecting on that, and I think it's similar to how Jesus would communicate to the people. He would always emphasize, what I say to you and what I do is the will of the Father. I am removing my thoughts. I am removing whatever I want to do because I am one with the Father.
Yeah.
And so I think that that's the essence of it. You know, whatever I wanted to communicate when I was writing poetry, I truly wanted to expose the heart of God. So that's behind that.
What would you say to a male or female that didn't have their father in their life and they're struggling with identity and or forgiveness?
First and foremost, I mean, to pray, to hold on to God, to really look for God, to be honest with the Lord and say, hey, listen, I am struggling. I don't know where to go. Could you come into my life and guide me? Now, I know that sometimes rage and anger will blind you, and it's difficult to take advice, you know. But if you're able to get past that blindness, I would say look within your community for a male figure. Whether it could be a coach, whether it could be at school, or maybe a neighbor, or maybe someone that actually takes a liking to you and that is willing to pour into your life. Do that.
Yeah.
Because that way you will, as time goes by, you will start to become more grounded and see the benefits of that. And I think that even though some people do have their fathers in their lives, I think that it is good to latch onto other men here and there to continue to learn more, especially if those men are men of God. Yeah.
And they may have characteristics that your father don't have.
Correct.
To make you more well-rounded. You know, I think about this. It makes me think about how in this world, there's a gravitational pull of sin. And we need all parts of us firing on all cylinders to become what God calls us to be.
Yeah.
And when we're not forgiving our parents, when we're having identity crisis, we're not the best version of ourselves.
Definitely not.
We let's just say one of the cylinders are blown. And I think knowing that you're not the best version of yourself might help some people say, you know what, I got to fix this. My spirit is giving off a sourness, unforgiveness. I mean, I might still be having some healthy relationships, but I'm still not the best version of myself. I might actually be being successful in some areas of my life, but I may not be well with my children, or I may not be well in romantic situations, and it may stem back to the lack of identity and the lack of forgiveness in your life.
And let me touch on that forgiveness thing. I forgot where I heard this quote, and I'm sure that many people have heard it too, that unforgiveness is like drinking poison, expecting the other person to die.
Yes.
And so my word to the world would be just forgive. Forgive. I know it's difficult. I know that you want revenge, you want vengeance, but let me tell you that the justice and the vengeance of the Lord are better than what you have in mind.
Yeah.
And once you let go of that resentment, everything just starts to line up in your life.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to carry that burden. That burden was not meant for you to carry.
Yeah.
That's why Jesus died on the cross.